Recent instances of racial injustice, such as the killing of George Floyd in May of 2020, have shocked the world. In all realms of society, people and organizations are being forced to confront difficult questions about equality and prejudice. And Minneapolis-based retailer Best Buy is no exception.
I think corporate America began to realize, how do we become a better neighbor? For Best Buy personally, we said, how do we do better?
Best Buy's leadership team was deeply impacted by the racial violence and subsequent protests of 2020. CEO Corey Berry released a statement addressing the turbulent situation. In it, she committed that Best Buy would work to make systemic, permanent changes that address social injustices to improve the company and the communities they serve.
We started to think about, how do we show up? How do we show up in making a difference in how we hire and create opportunities for all? How do we also show up in our communities? And how do we create access and skill learning for people that in the past haven't had that kind of access before? I think those types of reflection made us to lean in a way that we hadn't before.
To retain employees, Best Buy is providing systems of long-term support for underrepresented groups. There are leadership and training roles for Black, Indigenous, people of color, or BIPOC, and women employees, as well as mentorships, learning opportunities, and personal development programs.
If you look at most retailers, if you just look at the surface, you're going to find a diversified company. But if you start to look closer and you say, okay, let's not look at frontline employees. Let's make sure our frontline employees have a pathway to opportunity and continued growth based on their own desires and hopes. What we're saying as a company is that our representation will reflect the composition of our board. It's 50% women and it's 30% BIPOC. And we're saying the most senior levels of our organization, our goal is that they will reflect the composition of our board.
To reach their goals, Best Buy is implementing sweeping changes to the way it hires and recruits so that its workforce will grow increasingly diverse.
And if you think about it, if you're not used to corporate America and the way we articulate things and the way we say things and the word choices we use, you could look at a job posting and the number one thing you would say, I'm not qualified for that. And so we're going through all of our job postings one at a time so the language is simple and clear, and so that someone looking at it could say, not do I question myself, but I could see myself in that space.
Best Buy is taking its hiring seriously, and not just because inclusion is a hot-button topic right now. The company knows that when a workplace is diverse, welcoming, and tolerant, everyone in it thrives.
You can put a diverse team together. The ideas, the concepts, the innovation that is actually created when you build something called psychological safety, which means it's okay to be different. It's okay to say the thing in the room that no one else is saying. We value that. The reality is that companies that do that and teams that do that are better. They're far more innovative, they're far more creative, and the outcomes are tremendously better.
And beyond its next set of hires, Best Buy is looking to support the people it might hire 5 or even 10 years from now. Teen Tech Centers are free, safe after-school spaces where teens and disinvested communities can get hands-on experience with technology, training, and mentorship to help prepare them for jobs of the future.
A Teen Tech Center is about creating connections between human beings, about allowing them to explore with technology, about filling their mind with aspirations and opportunities. And it can unleash people in just an incredible way. Today we've got 35 Teen Tech Centers. In the future, we're going to have 100 Teen Tech Centers. And we believe that 100 Teen Tech Centers can impact 30,000 teenagers.
And the support doesn't stop when students graduate high school. Best Buy announced that by 2025, it would allocate $44 million to college prep, career opportunities, and scholarships for BIPOC students. Events of 2020 showed us that we live in a society that is far from egalitarian. After George Floyd's tragic death, Best Buy assessed its own contributions to the fight for equality and decided to do more.
I think the era today with technology will require even more humanness in our leadership approaches. It's about what are your aspirations and our commitment to developing those aspirations across all groups.